think my SCPGA days were something I look back on a lot, actually. I always talk with my dad about how I just wanted to play, every single weekend I could out from school. And SCPGA provided so many events every week that it was awesome. I was looking forward to those all the time. And I was actually talking to one of my roommates recently, Roy Coots, who also played a bunch of SCPGA junior stuff with me. We came across a couple pictures when we were like 10, 11 years old, playing with like Colin and a lot of these guys Colin just lost in the playoff there on Sunday. It definitely helped me elevate my game because, those same juniors that you would play with, a lot of the top guys in junior golf, it's not much different than those top guys that go into, the Toyota Tour Cups and college golf. So it's cool to not only see my own progression from when I played the junior tour to also compare yourself with other guys that were also played on junior tour. So yeah, I love thinking back on junior tour days. So the SCPGA play with the pro, I got to play with Hide Yoshinaga. It was definitely a great experience because it's not something that, especially as a junior golfer, that you get to do often, see what, the PGA professional is really about. And it was cool. Hide gave me some pretty cool insight, and I got to see what he does and how he's just simply helping grow the game of golf. I think that's the part that I took from him that was great. Like, he's just trying to spread the game that a lot of us, know and love to anybody. Anybody can pick up the game, and that was a big thing. But it was an experience that, that's going to stay with me for a long time. Rick Hunter is a PGA professional at El Prado Golf Course. I met him when I was really young. I might have been 6 or 7 years old at Ayala driving range. It's closed now, but I was lucky enough to meet him, and things kind of progressed from there. And he's been my coach ever since for the past 15 years. And it's been great because I've always been a super field player, and when someone looks at my swing, they're like, okay, there's definitely some mechanics that aren't taught normally, for sure. But Rick has been so great for me that he doesn't try and change my swing all at once at all. He understands my swing and kind of keeps the things that make my swing, but also make sure that some basic fundamentals are there, such as grip and alignment and stuff like that. So not only that has he helped my golf game elevate to the next level, but just as a great friend and person. He's helped me mentally a lot as well. He's had such great experience through his golf life, and he's just shedding some of that wisdom onto me, and I'm thankful for that. And I'm very happy that I'm still with Rick Hunter. I think it's very important to have an instructor. I've been such a field player, and my swing isn't the most mechanical, and I've always been like, I don't really need a teacher to help. I swing my own swing, and how are they supposed to know that? But he's been so great on adjusting for that. And I think there's a lot of, having a second set of eyes, especially in PGA professional, is something that's always going to be beneficial. That's something that might be tough to take in because I was stubborn when I was young. I was like, all right, I'm going to swing my way. But Rick always had that second set of eyes behind me, and really helped me out a lot. So I think it's very important that you have that second set of eyes with you. So I never had any wrist problems till I got to college. My freshman year, I kind of hurt my wrist a little bit, but I just thought it was tendonitis, so I wore a wrap and played with a wrap on my wrist for like a year and a half, and it got better for about a year. And then it was the end of my junior year that it was just getting really bad, and I literally it got to a point where I couldn't even grip the club. And initially it was a stress fracture in my wrist that I healed up, tried to play after that, and I realized it's still hurting just as bad, if not worse. So I tried to take cortisone shots to heal it, and that's, looking back at it now, like, I should not have done that. I should have just, taken the time to really see what was wrong with my wrist and take some time off. But long story short, it was a combination of things. My tendon was messed up. I tore my TFCC in my left wrist, and there's some buildup in the joint. So it was a combination of things, and that was definitely a tough process. Again, I initially tried to rest it for a couple months, starting the September of 2018. I tried to rest it there for a little bit, or 2019. I'm getting my years mixed up, but end of my junior year, I tried to rest it a little bit, started my actual senior year, but I ended up redshirting because of the injury, and then I ended up having surgery. So I had the surgery in January of 2019. Had to take 6 months of rest and rehab for that, which was really hard. The hardest part of the injury was, after the actual surgery, um, because not only could I not play golf, I couldn't, do any normal things that I love to do, like play basketball or even play video games, because the left hand was completely out of use for at least 2.5 of those months. So didn't start playing till summer of 2019, and then I went with my team to nationals and watched them play, which was cool. Got me really hungry to play the game again. And then I played a couple tournaments in the Northeast late in June, the Sunny Hunt at Northeast, and then the SCPGA right after that. So there was definitely a return that was quicker than expected, that I got my game back. And funny enough, actually, my game was better than it has ever been. It's kind of a blessing in disguise that because of the injury, I was able to kind of think about what caused that injury, and it was just through golf. It was nothing I did outside or anything. So I was just putting so much stress on my wrist and my back that was completely unnecessary. So I was able to make some big changes there that not only helped my swing be easier on my body, but it actually made my swing better. And that was really awesome to win my third or fourth event back there. That was really cool. It was great. I mean, I gained so much respect for the guys just watching Max, Steve, Bryce, those guys just go in and work like they did. It's definitely something as a player going through the junior ranks, and even, I mean, obviously we work on some of the professional events, but I take it for granted how much setup is required and how much behind the scenes stuff is going on. And I gain new respect for that kind of stuff. I already knew it was like getting into it, I was like, okay, this might be a little bit, but these guys do a lot of work, and definitely getting a lot of respect for that. But I really enjoyed my time too. It was like a small little, almost like a little family working together. I've never worked in my life before then. So it was cool to get a little bit of experience there. And there were some long days for sure. I remember, I think it was the SoCal Open. The first couple of days of work, got up at like 5 and worked till, we're shutting down on the 30, or it might not have been 36 hole, but it was like split tee, morning, afternoon waves. So it was long days, and yeah, it was a lot of fun though. I definitely am super glad that I did that in the whole internship. One thing that I've done that I feel like a lot of people don't do is I've completely stopped my big range sessions. I think the most balls I've hit since my surgery has been a large bucket, so maybe 100 balls in one time or in one day. So I've stopped just beating balls. It's just too much I mean, I'm sure my wrist can handle it, but it just doesn't seem like the smart thing to do long term. Especially the way I feel like I play the game. I don't need to, beat hundreds of balls. I just need to get kind of a feel for it. And I realize that's been great for me. I feel like I'm fresh every time I'm playing a tournament. So that's been key. And then another thing is obviously definitely stretching and working out a little bit more. I was someone who was super lazy and never worked out till I got to college. And after working out in college, I saw the benefits it had. Not only just getting stronger and hitting it further. I mean, that's not really why I think a lot of the guys work out. It's mostly just to stay healthy and, be able to repeat your swing over and over. To feel like you're waking up every day and your body feels somewhat the same. I mean, it's never going to feel the same. Your swing's never going to feel the same, but the better shape your body is in, I feel like, the more repeatable that swing becomes. So I've definitely been better about that, and I could definitely see the difference in my body. The one story I like to tell a lot is, it was pretty much my whole first semester there, my freshman year. I was kind of notorious in high school. I used to kind of mess around when I warmed up a lot, so I hit some shanks and hit some tops and stuff like that. So I kind of carried that into initially in college. It was just for a way for me to keep loose. I've told this before, but one of my favorite memories is I was at Meadow Club at Cal my freshman year. I was still 17 at the time, so I was really young. I was hitting balls next to John Rahm, and the whole driving range was full. It was a shotgun in the morning, and I turned to the guys and watch this, and I hit one of the best shanks I've ever hit in my life, and this thing just went 90 degrees across the range. The range was like a little semicircle, so the ball went in front of everyone, and I tried to make it look like it was, like an actual shank. It was real, and I didn't look up and look over through the range, but the guys on my team were telling me that everyone was looking, and even John, took a little stare. So that's a really cool memory. But I have so many good memories. It's tough to choose, just because like I said, when I was working with the SCPGA, it felt like my team was like a family. It was a second family. So the guys on the team were my best friends, and the coaches were always, two people that I could go to and talk about anything with, and not just golf stuff. So, um, I'm definitely gonna miss traveling with the guys, and you take it for granted all the free food and nice places that we get to stay. So, and great golf courses that we play. But yeah, that the freshman year thing is definitely one that I'll always remember.
Yeah.
This was definitely a special year, not only for me, but for Pepperdine golf in general. This wasn't a 1 year thing. It was kind of a 3-4 year build, almost recruiting the coaches, recruiting the right guys, and guys that necessarily probably wouldn't have played 2 years ago, but they've worked so hard to get their game in shape for this year. So we're a super deep team. We had our 1 to 10 guys could all play in the lineup and could win the event, which was pretty scary. But it was really cool because it kept qualifying and practices so competitive. So it was really cool seeing our, having success right from the start. My previous 3 years at Pepperdine, we always got off to a slow start in the fall, and it was like we always felt like we were catching up. And sure enough, we actually played well in every spring that I've been in. But this time we started off pretty strong, had a couple wins in the fall, and then started off with a couple wins early in the spring, and we found ourselves at number 1. And I think our preseason rank was like 2 or 3. But it was really cool to be part of a number 1 team, and it's great because we, guys on the team still didn't feel like they were playing that great, just because there was somebody else on the team that was beating them if they were not on top of their game. So that competitiveness that we had within our team was really pushing us to be the best we could, and I think that's why we ended up on top. And I'm still bummed about, not having a chance to compete for the national championship. I definitely think we're one of the favorites. I know I'm a little biased, but we were trending the right direction, and yeah, still bummed about it. But we ended up on top, so I guess we can take that feather and put it in our cap. But individually too, it was a great year. Again, the team really helped me kind of take the focus away from me a little bit and kind of put that on the team. We were just so focused on winning as a team and getting better as a team that the individual stuff kind of came second to me, which was great. Obviously, I was still focusing and doing the stuff that was helping me, but all of a sudden finished Vegas, and I would look up at the rankings and I'm number 1. I'm like, whoa, when did that happen? So it was definitely a really cool year, and obviously winning the Haskins and the Ben Hogan was awesome. Like, I couldn't have even dreamt that my name's going to be on those lists of just legendary names that have won those prior to me. So yeah, overall, I mean, the rest of 2020, it's a little bit forgettable, but that part, the golf part, was definitely good. Thanks to Friends of Golf for everything that they've done. I know they've helped our program out at Pepperdine, and it was really cool getting to see Eddie Marins and Sal come over to my house to deliver that Hogan Award. That was something I'm never going to forget. But yeah, thank you to Friends of Golf. I just want to thank the Friends of Golf again for helping out with the SCPGA Foundation and all that they do for the junior golfers in Southern California. Yeah, it's definitely a long process. I mean, obviously, I've had more than the other years. I've had a lot of time to do it because the college season ended in late March, and I pretty much knew that I wasn't going to go back. I know the PGA Tour University and all that stuff I think it's great, and if I wasn't ranked number 1 or 2, I probably would be going back because there just wouldn't be anything to play in. So my initial plan was to play Canada Q School and go through that. And unfortunately, like 3 days before my Canada Q School site was supposed to be going on, they canceled it. And now Canada is canceled completely. Corn Ferry Q School is canceled. European Q School is canceled. So all the qualifying stuff that I had planned up was all canceled. So it definitely took a little bit of a different path starting my pro career. I knew I was going to get some PGA Tour exemptions just because of the season I've had in the rankings and stuff. But actually I turned pro, I guess, just over a week ago now in Arizona, and I played an Outlaw event. It was my first tournament, so that was a pretty cool experience. Definitely not something that I would have envisioned, but they ran a great tournament down there, and I came in 3rd, so not too shabby, I guess. But it was still a really fun way to start my professional career, and I was just like, man, this is really cool that I'm playing golf for a living, doing what I love and getting to do it for a living. So I'm pumped about that. But there's definitely a lot of aspects to it, such as the sponsors and the agent to I just recently signed with agent, players group management. Lynn Roach is my guy, and that's a long process too, because it's almost like picking a school. Like, you got to make sure that, your kind of goals and stuff like that, they align with not only the agency but the agent that you're going to have as well. So that was a process that took a while, but I think I'm very happy with the decision to be working with them. And then in terms of sponsors, I've played ping clubs for, as far as I probably the last 9 years, I'd like to say. They've been awesome with me. So I'm going to be going with ping here shortly. And then for ball, shoe, and glove, I think I can go Titleist. And then also for clothing, Linksoul's been great. For Pepperdine, they've sponsored us the last couple of years. So for the summer, they're sending me some stuff to wear. So I'm looking forward to wearing some Linksoul stuff, because it's been great for Pepperdine. But yeah, those are the main ones for now. I guess I went through clubs, ball, shoe, glove, clothing. But yeah, in terms of scheduling, I just got in a few days ago to the Travelers Championship. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm leaving this Sunday morning, I believe, so in 4 or 5 days. That'll be my first one, and then I'm playing the next week after that, I'm playing in Detroit for the Rocket Mortgage. So those will be the first 2 tour events I play in. And then after that, I think I'll get into a couple more. Nothing official yet, but hoping to play like 4 this summer. And then sprinkle some Monday qualifiers for Corn Ferry and some other mini tour events and stuff like that. So even though the situation's crazy and obviously it's not what we expected, but I'm still gonna have plenty of opportunities to play, and that's all I can ask for at this point. I'm sure a lot of these kids and parents have heard this before, but it sounds cliche, but you gotta enjoy it. If you don't really love the game, I think it's really tough to succeed. It's possible, but the motivation should really come from within yourself. That's something my parents told me from a very young age, so it was great because I never had the pressure or unnecessary pressure, added pressure to perform for someone else or other people. It was just like, okay, I love playing golf, and I get to spend 4 or 5 hours on a golf course doing what I love with people that also are doing what they love. So I just thought of it, my parents, to make sure that I thought of it like that way, and sure enough, I've grown to love the game more and more every day. And I can't say it enough that you just have to enjoy every time. It's absolutely natural to hit some bad shots and get angry. That's part of the game. That's just part of being a competitor. But gotta definitely enjoy it. And then obviously you gotta work hard, but you gotta work smart as well. It's not just about going out on the course every day and practicing for 6-7 hours a day. It's about practicing the right way, finding what works best for you. I know a couple of my buddies were great college golfers. They're guys that practice 5, 6, 7 hours a day, but also know other people that are practicing 1 or 2 hours a day, but they're doing it the right way that they feel like that they can improve. So it's not just about beating balls, but doing things the right way. And I think a combination of that, like making sure that even when you are practicing, you're still enjoying what you're doing. So that's something, again, my parents have told me from a very young age, and that stuck with me, and that's going to stick with me the rest of my life. That's a tough one. Right now it's got to be Tiger. I love watching Tiger play. For a little stretch there, it really wasn't, but yeah, I'll go with Tiger. I'd have to go with the Riviera down here. I love that place. Not really, but funny story about that. Going through drive-thrus, a lot of people, I've just kind of given up saying my real name because it always takes like 30 seconds for them to be like, okay, finally got it. So I've been saying Seth. Just as I was like, what's the point of wasting 20-30 seconds and having them fumble with the name? So, but I don't guys on my team kind of just call me whatever rolls off their tongue, and it's a number of things, but Sahith is pretty much the way. When I was young, I always pronounced it the wrong way, because when I was really young, I was like, okay, I was telling people Sahith, but then people started calling me Sahith. I was like, okay, everyone already knows me as Sahith. Even though I say Sahith, I'm just going to say, hey, I'm Sahith. But probably ever since like my senior year of high school, I've made it like, okay, my name's Sahith, it's not Sahith. So It's funny. I still a lot of people who I was close with when I was really young still call me Sahith, but it's like they know how to pronounce it, but they still say it that way. So I don't mind either way. Um, I would love to think I'd be a basketball player. I don't know if I have the stature or the skill set to do that, but the two sports that I love are basketball and golf. If that weren't to work out, if that wasn't to work out, I'd love to be some sort of sports agent. I just love the business side of sports, so any sport, basketball, football, hockey, like anything. I just would like to work in the sports business side. So the first kinds of music I started really listening to was when I played video games. So it was a lot of like newer EDM and kind of hardware EDM stuff. So I'd probably have to go with there's a really famous DJ Hardwell. I'd probably go with one of his songs. Blake Lively, got to be up there. And then my favorite actor, probably Leonardo DiCaprio. I feel like I've always been known as like a gentle giant kind of. I'm 6'3", so I don't think a lot of Indian males that people see are 6'3". So I was really shy as a kid, so kind of soft spoken and stuff like that. So you go gentle.